Alright everybody, welcome back to another video. Today it's kind of like a vlog. It's not a vlog gaming, it's a conspiracy theory video, and I wanted to make this for a long time. In today's subject, we're going to be talking about, basically, let me grab my phone, and we're going to be talking about Avengers 4 theories along with Captain Marvel theories and beyond. What's for the future of the MCU. It's really hot in my room, so also forgive any audio issues or stuff like that, and let's get started. Welcome back. And the first thing I want to talk about is basically what on earth is going to happen in the next Avengers movie, because, by the way, spoiler warning for Infinity War if you haven't watched it, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, but let's get right into it. So basically, we're gonna take some theories off the internet on here, like look at my wallpaper, by the way, I'm a hardcore fan, and we're gonna be taking some of my theories and we're gonna kind of smush them together. So let's start with my first theory on how is the movie gonna start. So let's go to Instagram real quick. Let's address the first thing on how the Avengers 4 could start. If you haven't seen the end credit scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp, basically Hank Pym, right before he goes into the quantum realm, if you notice that Hope's mother, the old Wasp, he tells Scott something, my bad, Scott's Ant-Man, the new Ant-Man. He basically tells him to like watch out for time vortexes.
Also, make sure you stay out of the tardigrade fields. They're cute, but they'll eat you. And don't get sucked into a time vortex. We won't be able to.
Now that could either be a throwaway line or it could be very important to the movie. And in my theory, and mixed along with other theories, we're gonna see how that can play into this whole movie. Now basically, so he's stuck, obviously, if you haven't seen it. If you want to know and you haven't watched it, he goes in there to grab stuff, basically the quantum realm, and basically the snap happens.
You should have gone for the head.
And the people on the outside, Hank and Hope and the mother, they all turn to ash, and basically he's stuck. Scott is stuck in the quantum realm. Now basically, sorry if I say basically a lot, there's two, obviously, if you haven't seen the leaked images for Avengers 4, it kind of looks like it's assuming time travel, and that's going to be our first theory, along with Scott being stuck in the quantum realm, and how is he going to get out, and how is he going to play into this whole story theory thing. So let's start with like theory 1A, how is Scott gonna get out? And basically I have two assumptions. A, either the Avengers or an Avenger, maybe Tony Stark or Captain America, or we're just gonna throw in Captain Marvel, I consider an Avenger. They're gonna pull Scott out using the quantum technology that's left out on the garage or whatever. Or maybe even Captain Marvel is in the quantum realm. We don't know, because Captain Marvel presently isn't out yet, so we don't exactly know where she is in the MCU currently. Obviously it's going to explain in the movie, but we don't know. So either an Avenger's going to pull Scott out of the quantum realm, or this is my other theory, that he's going to use the time vortex to travel through time. Now again, that could have been a throwaway line, but it could be very important, because Scott could travel in the past, possibly in the present, excuse me, it's hot, or in the future. So we don't exactly know. I'm saying maybe rough guess is past, because if you haven't seen the leaked pictures, it looks like the Battle of New York, because Captain America is wearing his old outfit from the first Avengers movie. We don't exactly know. It could have been, right, if you think about it, that image that was leaked, it could be Marvel saying, okay, it's okay for it to be released, that image. because maybe they want us to get a sneak peek of that it might include time travel, or that scene is going to be in the movie, but it's going to be totally something different. Maybe that's not time travel. It's just a theory, it could be way off, but if this all happens, that'd be amazing. So basically, either the Avengers are going to pull Scott out of it, or he's going to use the time vortex to either go in the past to the Battle of New York, maybe to the present or to the future, which would be very interesting, because if he went to the future, maybe he gets a glance of the future and sees what's going to be the outcome when the Avengers try to retake on Thanos. So let's pretty much get into the second part of the theory. How are the pawns around, basically? If he uses the time vortex, then there's two miniature theories in there. Are they going to be able to control when they go back to what time period, or is it just going to be by chance? Are the Avengers going to have to risk going to whatever time period just so they can get the Infinity Stones, so they can stop Thanos? Now let's get into the deeper part of this theory. Now, so we said basically if they use a time vortex to go back in time, because if you think about it, you don't know Captain Marvel's powers, but she could have time travel. I don't think she does, but pretty much Doctor Strange with the time stone, pretty much Doctor Strange turned to Ash, obviously. Sorry for some audio issues, but also Thanos has all the Infinity Stones currently in the MCU, so Time Stone is kind of out of there. They can't use it. Now there's some really wacky theories. If you want me to go over them in the next video, please let me know. I'm not going to cover every single Avengers 4 theory, I'm just going to cover the main points, or my points. So basically, the next theory is that if they can control the time travel, why would they go back to the Battle of New York? And on the screen right now, I put some images of the leaked Avengers 4 images, right? This has been floating around the internet if you haven't seen it, and this is leaked. Like, most likely this is actual leaked. I don't know how they can fake this. It could be Photoshop, whatever, but just wanted to say that, like, why would they go back to this date? Now, in the picture you seen on the screen, maybe this isn't the Battle of New York, but most people are assuming because of Captain America's old outfit, what I said a few minutes ago. But why would they go back to that very Battle of New York? Now there's some very interesting theories I thought of today and I want to share with you guys, so let's get right into it. Now maybe they aren't able to control the time vortex, right? Maybe they have to hope and pray they don't go too far in the past. Either way, they have to get the Infinity Stones and to stop Thanos. Now if they can't control it and can go back to any date they want, why would they go back to the Battle of New York? Where are they? We don't know, but let's just assume they say we're going back to that date. Why? So let's get right into that. Option 1. Why would they go back to that date? You have to remember, Thanos sent the Chitauri army, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, maybe I'll put like in a parentheses on how you actually say it, but along with Loki, to obviously if you haven't watched the first Avengers movie, go watch it, because you're not going to understand any of this. So basically, it's not exactly explained, but kind of like to take over the Earth or destroy the Earth, right? Thanos sent Loki and the army to do it for him. So remember that Thanos is part of this. So basically, why would it be important if the Avengers went back? Because Thanos is part of this. If you don't know, Thanos doesn't have the stones yet. He basically is relying on Loki and the army to do it for him. And if you haven't watched the Age of Ultron and credit scene with Thanos, he says, "Fine, I'll do it myself."
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Now, obviously, I could be using this in wrong context because some people get it mixed up. We obviously don't know 100% that means. There's pretty much no background. Pretty much, I think that means when he says, "Fine, I'll do it myself," that Loki was meant to do what Thanos was to do. He wasn't able to pull it off, so Thanos, that's why he had to get the stones and the gauntlet. Now, also, it would be very convenient. This is option 2. Why, or a reason why they would go back to that date is because it's very convenient, because there's 2 Infinity Stones right there at that battle. First off, you have the Mind Stone, which is Loki's scepter. Not in Vision's head yet. That was in Age of Ultron. If you haven't watched that, watch this as well, because every Marvel movie, if you haven't noticed, it's all linked. So if you miss one, it's okay, but you should go back and watch it, even if it's old, so you can fill in your knowledge, right? Because it might explain a few things. But basically, also, not only the Mind Stone, which is Loki's scepter, the Tesseract is there, which is the Space Stone. So 2 Infinity Stones are already there at the Battle of New York. So it'd be very convenient for them to go there, help the old Avengers, because remember, the old Avengers, it could be that, right? Captain America's fighting the T'Chari along with Loki, and they come back with Scott Lang, you see, with the modern day Tony Stark, which appears in the image. So basically, maybe, somehow, either the Avengers pulled him out, or he somehow both got to that time period, and they're talking to him, talking to the old Captain America. Maybe the new Avengers help the old Avengers win against the T'Chari. And think about this, maybe after they go after Thanos, right? Because Thanos doesn't have the stone yet. Maybe Iron Man, when he flew the nuke into the wormhole and blew up the T'Chari army, maybe that wasn't enough. Maybe Tony Stark says, hey, we're not done yet, we have to take on Thanos, because he doesn't have the stone yet. That could be a very easy win. Or maybe they do go back to that time period, but at the same time, the old, some of the new Avengers, right, or the present Avengers help the old Avengers fight. Stay with me with this. But some of the new Avengers go out and get the stones, because the Avengers would have a major advantage if they got the stones before Thanos. And obviously, that's a very long time gap between Infinity War and the first Avengers. So it kind of makes sense for them to get the stones that period, because they would have a major advantage. Now, I might throw on some more potential promo art. This one is not very firm or iffy, but even if it's not, it gives us a good idea and concept of who's going to be in the next movie. And so let's take a look. First off, Thor knows where the Reality Stone is, because if you haven't watched Thor: The Dark World, watch that. The Reality Stone is basically that main thing in that movie, and it's called the Aether, and it's a dark force, right? And bad guys are trying to use it. So Thor fought them, and at the end of the movie, the Asgardians gave the Reality Stone to the Collector, which obviously in Infinity War is a major part. So what if Thor, when he goes back, somehow he goes back with them, he goes to get the Reality Stone. And obviously, if you haven't watched Infinity War, you never noticed that Nebula is still alive as well, which is Gamora's sister. She didn't die after the snap, or she didn't get killed. So basically, excuse me, it's hot again. But basically, she goes to get the Power Stone because she knows where that is. That's what that could be a few issues, because actually that wouldn't be. Somehow she could go get the Power Stone, right? Which is in that weird planet. It wasn't given to Xandar yet. It's still in that weird place. If you haven't watched Guardians of the Galaxy, it's in that weird ancient ruin thing. So she could go get that along with Rocket Raccoon. And basically they can get that stone. What else? So you have, first off, you have the 2 Infinity Stones right there. You got 4 of them so far. The Time Stone, I don't honestly know who could go get that, because Doctor Strange pretty much incident didn't happen yet.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
So even if they did go ask the past Doctor Strange before he became Doctor Strange, he wouldn't know where it is. So they would kind of have to guess, maybe some way they find out, right? Because obviously the Ancient One, Wong, and that other guy from Doctor Strange. If you haven't watched that, that's an important movie. Go watch that as well. They have to protect the sanctuaries or whatever it's called, along with the Time Stone. So maybe the Ancient One, this is another theory, maybe she knows that something's up, right? So she gives the Time Stone to the Avengers. That could be it. And next, guys, is the Soul Stone. This one's a little iffy. I'm not 100% sure. I don't really have a theory about this. but basically they don't have the Soul Stone, right? The sacrifice of Gamora wasn't made yet, so they would either the Avengers would have to make a sacrifice, which I really hope and pray they don't, because that would suck a lot. I don't want them to do that. Please don't. Or they could sacrifice something, because Red Skull basically said you have to lose, I think it was something or someone you love. So I think you can lose an object that you love as well. Or C, straight up, you don't need the Soul Stone.
If Thanos needs all 6, why don't we just stick this one down the garbage disposal?
No can do.
Because I think 5 of the stones is enough to take on Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, right? So basically, we have a lot of theories going on. So let me recap on the theory I was just telling you guys. So basically, I was saying that the first theory is that obviously the Avengers they're gonna go back to the Battle of New York, but that kind of breaks into 2 miniature theories, which is either A, the Avengers, the old Avengers, are gonna fight alongside the new Avengers, and they're all gonna be there, and they're gonna fight them off. They're gonna beat the T'Chari, or whatever you call it, army along with Loki, and they're gonna go straight after Thanos after that and stop him. Or B, yeah, some of the Avengers are gonna stay and help fight with the old Avengers, the army, but some of the new Avengers as well is gonna go get the stones at that time period, which is most likely. I feel like that most likely is gonna happen. But now you may say, well, why would you need the stones if Thanos doesn't have the glove? Now this is another theory, because this would be insane, and this would really make the movie intense and add a huge plot twist. Basically, what if the Thanos of the future comes back through time to the Battle of New York to try to stop the Avengers, right? Because if you think about it, sorry for some audio issues, Thanos won. He already won in the future, right? He's all good. He's set. Obviously, if you've seen like the ending of Infinity War, he's just sitting on that planet. Now, to make a little, this is like a miniature theory. I don't know if that's Titan. It could be Titan, his home planet. He could have restored it, but in the movie, we don't really see that part of the planet. Maybe it's kind of like the countryside. Could be Titan. It could be another planet. We don't know. But obviously, he won already. He has all the stones. For some reason, the gauntlet got damaged, and I could explain that theory as well in another video, why the gauntlet got damaged. But basically, let me scoot up a bit because my butt is sore, guys. This chair is hard. But anyways, right, he won. So why do you say, why is he gonna come back? Because maybe he senses something is wrong, right? Maybe he just sent, like, right? Obviously, Captain Marvel is gonna come and help, which is gonna add even a bigger threat. So maybe he uses the time stone because he senses something wrong. Maybe one of the stones tell him, maybe he just senses something. And he uses the time stone and goes back to the Battle of New York. That would make, that's why the Avengers would probably have to get the stones in the past. So hold on guys. If the Avengers and the old Avengers, right, they get the stones, then basically they would need to do that, because if the future Thanos comes to defend the old Thanos along with the army and Loki, that could get really intense. So they would need some really heavy firepower. Just running a little long. So let's just basically quickly sum up what potentially could happen for the Captain Marvel movie. Now I might be throwing up images right now, or maybe in a few minutes or seconds. But basically, there has been, I believe in a few weeks or next week or whenever, we're gonna get a Captain Marvel trailer. So this video might be slightly old, but you'll know more on it. So maybe if I make a part 3 somehow, I don't even know how, of this Marvel theory series, hopefully I'm able to continue. You'll be able to talk more about the movie, but right now we don't have too much details, but let's get into it. So first theory, obviously this is more of a obvious thing, more than a theory. It's gonna be a prequel. Yeah. If you don't know what prequel means, that means it takes place before a movie. And basically I'm saying that this movie is gonna take place before most of the things that happen in the MCU. Now we don't have an exact time period, but I think in this theory I can give you an estimated range. So it's gonna be after the first Captain America, the first Avenger, and it's gonna be before Iron Man. Yeah, that's when the movie's gonna take place. Cause I'm gonna be like, why is that? Let me explain. First off, I don't know if it's on the screen, but basically in one of the photo whatever you call it, photo shoots. I think that's the wrong term, but I don't know. Anyways, we can see Brie Larson, I think that's the actor's name, I believe, that plays Captain Marvel. She's in a fighter jet, a modern day fighter jet. Now, that's obviously way after Captain America: The First Avenger, because I don't think they even had fighter jets back in World War II. So that confirms that. And you may be like, okay, that can be after the first Iron Man, but let me tell you why it's before the first Iron Man. Because in another picture, we see Brie Larson, I believe she's talking to Nick Fury. I don't know if it shows her talking to him, but we see Nick Fury while he's younger. If you don't know, Nick Fury does actually make a cameo. I believe it's in the end credit scenes of the first Iron Man, where he's talking to Iron Man about, hey, you want to put together a team or something like that. It's basically teasing the Avengers for a few years in the future. So yeah, like this was when the MCU was really first taking off, or like they didn't even know if this was gonna succeed. So the first Iron Man, right? So that's the first movie, and then you have the prequel to that, which is Captain America: The First Avenger. Basically, that movie's in between both of them, right? Because in the end credit scene of the first Iron Man, he is way older. The current day Nick Fury in the set picture or whatever, he is way younger. So it kind of confirms that. Now the next thing is, this might get weird, but I believe she fights for the Kree. And you'd be like, what is the Kree? Like, I might be saying it wrong, or I might actually be using the wrong term. If I'm saying the wrong term, I'll put it up below, or the wrong name for it. But basically, the Kree, it was first introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy, which is basically the main threat, along with Ronan, which is pretty interesting. If you don't know Ronan, maybe I'll throw up a picture right now of him in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's gonna show up in Captain Marvel, right? Because remember, this is a prequel, so he didn't die yet. But maybe I'll even put up like side by side. I don't know if I can do that, but I'll try. But basically, guys, he's gonna be in it, because in the set photos it pretty much confirmed. Plus, ironically, there's a guy with the same exact hammer, with the same exact weird like nun-looking thing where it goes over his head, and he's blue. I don't think that's like all coincidental. I think that is Ronan. It's not 100% confirmed. Well, pretty much it sorta is, but we don't have his name. It could be someone else that looks like Ronan, but I believe it's Ronan. A lot of people do, so I'm on board with that. Next part of the theory, this is new to the MCU. It's in the comics. I'm not really educated with this part of the MCU. This is the part where it gets a little weird, but Skrulls, I believe it is. I'm gonna throw up another image on the screen right now, and basically they're new to the MCU, but they're in the comics. And basically, what my information knows about this, sorry guys, I'm just looking at my phone right now because I have it recording, but they're basically kind of like shapeshifters, and they can mimic people's stuff. I think they can mimic people's stuff, but I know they shapeshift. Basically, they can take any form. Now basically, since they are being 100% confirmed into the MCU, this is where a lot of people kind of go wacky with the theories, since they can shapeshift. We don't know if they're all, we obviously know they're the bad guys. We don't know if they're all gonna die in the movie. I'm pretty sure they're 100%, yeah, it's pretty much confirmed they are the bad guys in the movie. I don't know if they work with the Kree, or against the Kree. I honestly don't know the plot, or the idea of the plot. So it's kind of introduced like this new threat into the MCU, and that's why people say that. If you haven't heard this theory where Bruce Banner in Avengers 4, that's not actually him, but it's Loki, or it's a Skrull, right, posing as him. That's where that theory comes from this movie. But honestly, I don't know much about it. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be a threat. Next one I want to throw up, since the Kree's gonna be in it, and the uniform they're wearing, alright, and they're walking by Ronan. It looks like he's like the general, the leader. I believe she's gonna start off as a bad guy, and she's gonna work her way to a good guy, right? Maybe somehow Nick Fury convinces her to turn good or something. Again, we don't really have an idea of the plot. I'm just taking what the pictures give us and trying to make a story of it, right? This isn't fake, by the way. This was 100% confirmed by Entertaining, right? She even posted something a few days before. They said, you want to break the internet? And I said, yeah. So they posted the pictures and this thing went viral, so we're talking about it. Now, really quick, just to end the video, this is just another side theory. This kind of fits in with the Avengers Infinity War theory, and I really like it's kind of like an interesting very theory. Now I might throw it up on the screen right now. So basically, did Captain America die in Infinity War? And I need to like, what? It's like, it's kind of like, it's funny because it's right in front of our face, but we never actually take a look and pay attention, right? Because I'm pretty sure most of us, including me, we was caught up in that moment where like Thanos was pretty much not slaughtering, but like pretty much beating the poop out of all the heroes we love.
Eyes up. Stay sharp.
Wanda, it's time.
No.
They can't stop him, Wanda, but we can. Look at me. You have the power to destroy the storm.
Don't.
You must do it, Wanda, please. We are out of time.
Like, what on earth? And we was like pretty much watching them all get thrown and like covered in rocks and like morphing in rocks, but it was right in front of our face this whole time. Now, could it be true? Like, the evidence I've seen, it's heavily pointing to this. Now, did Captain America die? I believe, yeah, he actually died. Why? Let's go right into the evidence. So basically, right, you know this, if you haven't watched it, you obviously don't know, but the scene where pretty much, right, Thanos comes to Earth and all the Avengers are trying to stop him and he's flying them all over the place, beating them up, and Wanda has to destroy the stone. Let's start from, that's the scene I'm talking about here. So let's start from the beginning. Thanos shows up, right? All the Avengers are ready to fight him, even Cap, right? He says, eyes up, or something like that.
Eyes up. Stay sharp.
So they pretty much all go at him. Now, the first part, the first person to attempt to try to attack Thanos is Bruce Banner. He can't turn into the Hulk for some reason, which there's a lot of theories. Honestly, I don't believe the Skrull theory or the Loki theory. I believe that's actual Bruce Banner, and he does, for some reason, he can't turn into the Hulk. So basically, he's using the Hulkbuster suit, first introduced in Age of Ultron. So basically, he goes to punch him, but Thanos uses the Space Stone, I believe, and he kind of turns him like in a ghost sense, kind of like what Vision can do. And he falls into the rocks and he morphs him into the rocks. So he's stuck. Remember that, he's stuck in the rocks. Next, War Machine, if you haven't noticed, he tries to go at Thanos with all he's got. Thanos basically takes the Reality, no, not the Reality Stone. I think it's the, what is it called? The Space Stone and something else. It could just be the Space Stone. He basically crushes Rhodey's suit and leaves him pretty much powerless, and he falls to the ground. Remember that. Bruce Banner's in the rocks. Rhodey's suit is crushed. Natasha, or Black Widow, she runs at him. He basically, I think he uses the space along with the Reality Stone to take a bunch of rocks and just smack, like trap her inside. Remember that. So she's trapped, Rhodey's suit is crushed, and Bruce Banner's stuck in rocks, right? And then lastly, the last thing that kind of some evidence that's going to lead up to the major point why I believe this theory is that Captain America, brave as he is, right? No, I think, yeah, Captain America was the first, but pretty much he just flew him onto the side like a ragdoll, poor thing, and then Bruce Banner goes at him. So let me correct that. Pretty much, he gets back up as like the soldier he is. He tries his hardest. He goes for a slide. He turns around. He punches him in the knee. He goes up for the uppercut, right? And basically, this part is kind of weird, but he kind of like grabs his fist. Like Thanos was to punch him. If you don't notice, like, where's the shields on his hand? Like, have you noticed that? Like, is it just me, or is it there? Like, is it the bottom of the thing? But to me, when I watch that scene, I don't see the shields on his hand, because just a second ago, like, he was punching him with the uppercut, and the shields ain't there anymore. Just think about that next time you watch the movie. But he catches his punch, right? He's trying to hold it the best he can. He's making like a screaming, yelling face, right? And then basically Thanos takes his fist and punches him to the point where it looks like he's dead. Now you guys may not have think of that, right? And the scene continues, right? So basically, Captain America is really unconscious, or he's dead. Because I believe if Captain America was actually alive, he would get up. He would get up and like not stop. He would continue to go. Pretty much all the Avengers were dismantled, or like really bodily injured, where they didn't want to get up, or they just couldn't get up. But I believe Steve Rogers, if he was alive, he would get up and continue to try to stop Thanos from getting the stone. The scene continues, watched it, Wanda and Vision having their love scene, and they Wanda blows up the stone. Then this is the part, right? Basically, he lost, right? Oh no, he lost. He basically takes the time stone and he reverses it. Remember that, he takes the time stone and reverses it, right? So everything is restored, which is the theory says, right? So it's restored before Thanos came, right? Or everything that happened is restored, right? So Vision's stone is back in his head. So that also means as well that whatever happened to the Avengers, such as Bruce Banner and Natasha and Rhodey and Captain America, is all reversed as well. So that's where the theory comes from, right? He rips the stone, and Thor, you obviously know that scene, which
I told you. You'd die for that. You should have gone for the head.
Oh, actually, there's another theory. I don't know if I can throw this one in, but basically, there's kind of evidence that Thor was going for the head, but I think Thanos leaned a little back, so he missed. I read that theory. I think, yeah, it could obviously be true, or it could just be totally false. But it's just another theory I'm throwing out there. I don't know if I can put it on screen. If I can, maybe I will. Again, copyright. I'm slightly educated. If you guys have concerns, just let me know down below. If you know some rules, please. But anyways, basically when he reverses it, right, he pretty much gets out of there with okay, here I gotta throw in another detail because I'm into details. If you haven't noticed, in the end, pretty much this is wrapping up the theory. Thanos, uses the stone, he falls back in the portal. If you haven't noticed, it's a split second, so you really gotta pay attention, or you gotta pause the movie at the right time. He uses the time stone to heal that thing when Thor put the chest in his put the chest in his hammer. When he put this axe hammer thing into his chest, right? If you notice, if you pause it, or if you've seen it on Instagram, maybe I'll post this too if I can find it. I don't know if I can find this, but basically he uses that thing to heal him, right? And while he falls back, yeah, it's true. Because you can see green particle effects on his chest when he falls back. So that's the time stone reversing, the thing. But basically at the end, you can see Cap is up again. Banner's not in the rocks. Nothing ever happened. Natasha's not smashed in rocks. Rhodey's suit is fine. And basically Captain America doesn't have any pretty much not battle scars from Thanos. So yeah, pretty much it's heavy evidence. Now, is there a slight 1% that this whole thing, he didn't die and they just somehow got out of it all, and somehow Bruce Banner got out of those rocks? Maybe. Like, I never paid attention until I actually saw that theory, and it like blew my mind. If you don't know, today, don't laugh at me, I just found out raisin is grapes. For you those that were at school with me, yeah, I didn't know raisins were grapes. Conspiracy theories. But anyways, this is gonna wrap up part 1. This potential series, right? This series can grow. I see support, right? And again, thank you for all that watch my videos, that take the time. I know I'm not like the #1 YouTuber, but I try my best. And by the way, if you're wondering what I'm recording on, I pretty much uploaded, or I'm working on a video. The Q&A is coming, guys. The Q&A is coming. Yes, I've been talking about it for a long time. It is coming, and I might as well not keep it a secret anymore. I was working on a Marvel Vlog Gaming, but the whole thing got deleted. I have like the remaining footage, so I gotta redo the whole thing. Working on Marvel Vlog Gaming. If you don't know what a vlog gaming is, because I know a lot of people is confused what a vlog gaming is. Sorry if I made it confusing. It's not a vlog, it's not a gaming, it's a vlog gaming. Yeah, you heard me say that, so let me simplify it even more. It's not a gaming video, guys. Don't think it's a gaming video. For those who don't like my gaming videos, that's fine. But let me just say, it's not a... Oh, excuse me. It's not a gaming video. It's kind of like I'm taking a break from a vlog and I'm talking. Or I'm doing something other than gaming and vlogging. Well, it's kind of like a vlog. That's why it has the word vlog in it. And it's kind of like I'm doing an action, so I just show gaming in there. Right? But it's not actual gaming, so just know that. And by the way, guys, I don't know if I included this in the beginning of the video, but I need some people for a skit. A skit, yes. I'm putting... That's one of my projects. I'm just saying right now, I'm making a skit. If you're interested, please leave in the... come up to me personally and say, hey, I heard you're making a skit. And say I want to be part of it. I think I need at least like 6, 7 people. Honestly, I don't know until like me, how I'm gonna write this skit. I gotta actually write, it's kind of gonna be like a movie trailer or something, or a movie. But basically, I'm gonna take like note cards and I gotta start, let me see if I can just grab one for example, right? I'm gonna take note cards like these, right? And start writing down, starting writing down the dialogue, or what you're gonna say, because, right? Because I like improv, right? If you're good at improv, obviously, I want you to be in it. I want you to be my skit. I want you to be my skit, mate. But anyways, I mean, right? I just need people for it, right? I don't want to say the plot of it. Just keep it secret for now. If you obviously want to be part of it, I have to tell you. I have to write the script. I have to write the story. I have a story in my head. I just gotta write it out on paper, right? If I can get everything set, I can get actors or people that want to do this, who's not ashamed of the camera, right? Because obviously me, I have to get over my fear of not being in front of the camera, which to make YouTube, you obviously need to be in front of the camera. So here I am. But basically, guys, writing a skit, I need people to be part of it. Please come up to me personally, let me know, guys. By the way, I need 20 people. If you're not good at acting, try get good and try ask me. Or if you're naturally gifted, then come up to me, let me know. And guys, also, if you have some material that's free and non-copyright, please don't get me in trouble because you give me copyright material that I can use on YouTube. Let me know. I'm just gonna give a shout out real quick to my boy Applejack something. I feel bad because he gave me a shout out on his channel, I believe. I also want to give a shout out to Paul Turner. He checked out my videos. Thank you very much. I watch his channel. Go watch him. Right, we all gotta stick together, us little YouTuber community. Also, I want to give a shout out to Hitman Reborn. If you haven't watched my Fortnite plays, he gave me some of those clips. I obviously thanked him in the beginning of the video. And if you saw that Ali dumb intro thing, I'm not teasing Ali. It's just a joke, guys. It's a meme. It's a joke. You don't know. Also, I want to thank. I just want to say thank you to you guys, because you guys make it possible. Like, that's why I do this, so that person behind the screen can watch this video, right?